Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just came out, and one of the best things about this game is that you can explore pretty much the entire region from the very start, allowing you to catch a wide variety of Pokemon early on, something we haven't seen in a Pokemon game before. But what if you just threw all that out the window and beat Pokemon Scarlet and Violet without using any Pokemon we caught ourselves? The first Pokemon we can get as our starter, and I picked Fuecoco mainly for its fire typing, as it fits well with the other Pokemon we can get later on that you'll see in this video. Now, typically Pokemon games have a few gift Pokemon that you get without having to trade a Pokemon away, to at least make it so you can have close to a full party. However, in Scarlet and Violet, outside of your starter Pokemon, there is only one other gift Pokemon you can get, which is a Galarian Meowth from a teacher in the school after completing all of his language classes. The issue with this though is that we have to complete every single class to get it, and we unlock classes the more gym badges we get, meaning we won't be able to get Meowth until pretty late on in the game. So basically, most of this run seems like it would just be a starter only run then, right? Not exactly, since there's a limited time online event to get a flying Terra-type Pikachu, then we can immediately head to the docks in Lavinica and get a Thunderstone to evolve into Raichu, giving us a whopping 2 Pokemon, one of which we won't even be able to get 3 months from now when the event is over. There aren't even any fossil Pokemon in this generation that we can restore like we did in the Sword and Shield playthrough that we did a few months ago, so due to the lack of traditional gift Pokemon, my stream chat and I made the executive decision to allow NPC traded Pokemon for this run, which will bring the total amount of Pokemon we can get to 6. This does technically require us to catch Pokemon to then trade to these NPCs, however we aren't ever using those Pokemon in battle or anything like that, and we're just trading for them. So technically, every Pokemon we're using is still a Pokemon that we didn't catch. The first NPC trade we can get is for a Snom that we can trade for a Flabebe in Cortando, which is also the town of the first gym, conveniently enough. I figure searching for a Flabebe wouldn't be too hard, right? This took me over an hour. I returned to the trader for the trade, then realized I caught a Floette, not a Flabebe. I search a bit more for a Flabebe, then I realized that Raichu and Floette are in the same egg group, so we can start a picnic, eat some food, and breed our Floette with Raichu to get a Flabebe egg, then hatch it, and finally trade it for a Snom, nicknamed Snowzalot. It's level 10, as NPC traded Pokemon in this game aren't the same level as the Pokemon you traded them like they were in previous Pokemon games, but we're just gonna leave it in the back of the party to soak up some XP for now. Now, for the very first gym. This is a grass-type gym, and we have a Fuecoco. It's raining in the battle. I don't know if it always rains in this battle, so our fire power is weakened, but it's the first gym, and we still have the type advantage, so I don't think we need to go into a play-by-play analysis, since we got the gym badge pretty easily. Now, we can catch a Palladian Wooper and trade it for a regular Wooper named Manchester. Why is it named Manchester? I have no idea, but after beating this giant crab, we can take on Brassius and his grass-type gym. Since our Fuecoco evolved into a Fuecoco with a hat, we have a strong type advantage and just click Incinerate like 4 times for the win. The first 2 gym badges being weak to fire make Fuecoco a really solid choice for a playthrough like this. After defeating Brassius, we meet Hassel, which unlocks the language classes at the school with Professor Salvatore. These classes are needed to eventually get a gift Galarian Meowth, as we discussed earlier, but we still need more gym badges to unlock the rest of the classes and get the Meowth. I then do some other quests, evolve Wooper and Frostmoth, and catch a Pincurchin. This Pincurchin is needed to trade for a Haunter named Hauntikins. Now, unlike the infamous Haunter trade in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, this one actually evolves into Gengar when it's traded to you. A fantastic addition to the team, as Gengar is one of the strongest Pokemon that you can get. This next gym is Iono's electric type gym, which Manchester should make short order of. Before that though, we have a quick fight against Nemona, who stands no chance against our team of Pokemon we didn't even catch ourselves, thanks to us starting with Fuecoco again. If there's one thing you learned from this video, it's that Fuecoco is the best starter in terms of just beating the game. Then for Iona's gym, I lead with Manchester the Quagsire, but since she led with her Wattrel, I switch into Crackalore to take it out, as Manchester only has ground-type moves. Then on Bellibolt and Luxio, Quagsire takes them out pretty easily, and I go back into Crackalore on her ace Pokemon Mismagius since it has Levitate. but unfortunately Crackalor goes down, but Gengar finishes it off for the victory. We can now set our sights on the vaulting Veluza himself, Kofu, and his water type gym. Raichu is fantastic in this matchup and 2-shots his lead Veluza with Thunderbolts. 1-shots his Wugtrio, didn't know this thing was water flying until this very moment. And his Terra Crabominable does live a hit and knock out Raichu, as Raichu did take some damage previously. So I go into Gengar and Terrasilize it, mainly because I think Terrasilizing Gengar just looks cool with that funny ghost on its head, and take out the Crabominable to defeat Kofu and get our 4th gym badge. This unlocks some more language classes we can take with Professor Salvatore. It also unlocks our midterm, which we got a perfect score on, making us just one step closer to getting that Galarian Meowth. I don't know for sure at the time that I'm recording this segment, but I'm pretty sure that after we get 6 gym badges, we should be able to get it. From here, I grind the team up, take on the Team Star Poison base, and Crackalor evolves into Skellyridge just in time to fight Larry's normal type gym in Medali. Since Skellyridge is part ghost type and we also have Gengar in the back, we match up pretty nicely against Larry. Skellyridge also has Torch Song, a very strong fire type move that's only slightly weaker than Flamethrower, but always increases our special attack by 1 stage, allowing us to boost up on his lead Komala, take out his Dunsparce after being hit by a Glare, and then take out his Ace Staraptor with ease because we were like +5 special attack by that point. This was my first time ever even seeing Skellyridge in battle, and I'm still amazed by just how good it is in battle. Nemona then sees us and challenges us to a rival fight as Manchester takes out her lead Lycanroc with 1 Aqua Tail. Snozelot handles her Goomy as Snozelot's at a point now where it's a decent level, and Skellyridge finishes off the rest of her team since she starts with Meowscarada. Now we have a long trip up to the mountains in Monteverna to fight Rhyme and her ghost type Pokemon. It's a double battle. We have 2 ghost types in Gengar and Skellyridge that I lead with. And I also decide to Terrasilize Skellyridge because it Terrasilizes to a fire type but still has its ghost type moves and is not weak to ghost anymore, and took like no damage against all of our Pokemon. And although our Gengar did end up falling, Skellyridge learned Shadow Ball by this point and just took everything out on our team. We then have some more language classes, and even though we have 6 gym badges now, it turns out I was wrong and we don't get that Galarian Meowth yet. That would be such a good addition to the team because it will finally round out our team and bring it to 6 Pokemon to pair with our starter Skellyridge, our event Pikachu that's now a Raichu, our regular Quagsire, Frostmoth, and Gengar. Then we take care of the future Donphan and head on over to fight the Psychic Gym, which has some walls detailing the past. For Tulip Psychic type Pokemon Gym, we lead with Skellyridge and use Torch Song twice to knock out her lead Faragirith and boost our special attack stat. I then click Shadow Ball a few more times with our increased special attack, and whoa, look at that, we have 7 badges now. After that, I check up on the school again and take some more language classes with Professor Salvatore, including our final exam. I definitely did not cheat by looking up the answers. And after receiving our perfect score, we meet with Professor Salvatore again, help him with an injured Palmy, and as a reward, he gives us a Galarian Meowth. Finally. It's only level 5, but we'll take it. This leaves 1 more gym badge against Grusha and his Ice-type team. Skellyridge again matches up real well here to 1-shot the lead Frostmoth, 1-shot the Beartic, but missed the knockout on the Titan, which then knocks out Skellyridge. It was pretty low at this point, so I go into Raichu just to finish it off. Then on his Tower Altaria, I just leave Raichu in to paralyze it and then fall, but Raichu doesn't end up falling as Altaria kept getting full paralyzed. And after a few Thunderbolts, Raichu got the knockout, giving us our 8th gym badge. Now this point of the game is a lot of maintenance with taking care of the last few Team Star bases and the final adventure with Arven, as we also take this time to grind the team up, level up Meowth so it evolves, and finish the Starfall story and Titan story, just leaving the Elite Four, the Champion, and the way home. I really don't think the rest of the other 2 stories were much of an issue for us since they're a lot easier than the regular gyms. So for now, let's take on the Elite Four test with Rika and, of course, tell her that Larry was our most difficult gym leader opponent. She then challenges us to a battle as the first Elite Four member, and we lead with Quagsire. Unsurprisingly, since Rika is a ground-type Pokemon trainer, we were able to one-shot nearly everything she has with Aqua Tail. Then we have a pseudo-honor battle with her Clodsire on our Quagsire. However, since Clodsire is a poison type and it gets hit with super effective earthquakes, we can knock it out in a couple of turns, allowing us to move on and fight PaPaSea's Steel-type team. This one was even easier than Rika, as Scarlet outspeeds and one-shots everything up until her Magneton, which only lived a hit because of its sturdy ability. It just goes for Light Screen and falls, but we have so many Torch Songs set up that her last Pokemon Tinkaton goes for the Stone Edge that we skillfully dodge to then one-shot it and defeat PaPaSea without even taking any damage. Then for our main man Larry, who's using flying type Pokemon this time, I leave with Snozelot to knock out his first 2 Pokemon before Snozelot falls to Staraptor. Raichu's able to get the revenge knockout, then I foolishly terrestrialize Raichu on his Thunder or Oricorio, forgetting that our Terra type was flying and not electric because this is the event Raichu, and it just goes down. Gengar then finishes off the rest of his team as Hassel then comes in with his Dragon type Pokemon as the last member of the Elite Four. Frostmoth takes out his lead Noivern in a single hit, then I terrestrialize on Haxorus to make it so we're not 4 times weak to rock anymore and only 2 times weak to rock, but we go down anyway to a rock type move, which is another foolish terrestrialization turn by me in the Elite Four. Gengar does have Dazzling Gleam for this Haxorus at least, as Quagsire Earthquakes Dragalge and Gengar takes out Flapple with Sludge Wave. Then, on his Taro Baxcalibur, Berserker's able to take care of it with a couple of Iron Heads. For the champion fight, I just planned on sweeping her with Skellyridge and going for a couple of Torch Songs, but that doesn't work out so well as Skellyridge falls to her lead Espartha. Gengar is able to knock out Espartha with 1 Shadow Ball as Berserker then takes out Avalugg and King Gambit since it learned Close Combat. We eventually make it to her Glimmora, which terrestrializes, so we tear on our Quagsire, go for Aqua Tail, which just misses the KO, then Earthquake on the following turn for the win, making us the champion, sort of, since next we still have to fight Nemona. And look guys, it's Nemona. We haven't really had any trouble with her at all in this entire run, and we have Skellyridge. We did need Frostmoth for her Goodra, but other than that, Skellyridge just destroys her whole team, and sorry Nemona, you're a lot more fun to battle when I started with that Grass Cat and actually struggled against your battles. I will say though, it is kind of funny how all of the gift/NPC trade Pokemon we have pretty much just straight up countered Nemona's team entirely. I don't know if that was intentional by the game or not, but it's still pretty cool. With the 3 main stories complete, we learn more about Paradox Pokemon from the Professor and the Paldea region as a whole in the final arc of the story. It eventually leads us to the final battle against Professor Turo and his Pokemon from the future. Professor Turo leads with Iron Moth, which Quagsire hits for 400% damage with Earthquake as it's fire and poison type. Then it also one-shots the Iron Thorns as we go into Raichu on Iron Bundle and OHKO that too. Iron Jugulis did live a Thunderbolt from Raichu though, and goes down after a second Thunderbolt as Quagsire and Skellyridge take out Iron Hands. I then go into Gengar on his Big Bad Iron Valiant that boosts its stat immediately on switch-in, but it's not strong enough to take a Sludge Bomb as Gengar gives us the win. And just when I thought we fully beat the game, I prepared to mute my Switch so I don't have to listen to Ed Sheeran again, but it turns out that the Professor fights us one more time with just his Miraidon against our Miraidon. This is just a Miraidon honor battle that I think is impossible to lose. I think you always win this battle no matter what you do. And it's pretty fitting that the final battle is an honor battle. After defeating him for a second time and saving the world or whatever, we exit the lab with our friends, run off in the sunset, and then now I can mute my Switch so we don't have to listen to Ed Sheeran again.